You're listening to the Redneck Hockey Podcast, the official gatekeepers of the Trip Tracy fan club and the only Carolina Hurricane show fueled solely on barbecue, Bowberry biscuits, and Storm Brew. As always, I'm your host, Griffin Daughtry, and I'm joined by my fellow Caniac co-hosts, Connor Weeks and Alex Pace. This week, we discuss Jani Hakanpaa's debut as a Hurricane, the closing games of the series against Tampa, and our playoff predictions. If this is your first time listening, please consider subscribing to the show and following us on Twitter. Without further delay, let's do that hockey.
Yeah, I have a different philosophy for why Mondays are always busy, or a different perspective for why Mondays are always busy at the gym. And I think it's because like a lot of people, especially like when it's post like way after New Year's resolution and whatnot, like all that stuff's out the window. People aren't thinking about that anymore. I think a lot of people they go to the gym on Mondays because they're like, it's a new week. I can like start a new routine. I'm gonna start fresh this Monday. And then it lasts for like, for some people, you know, it might last like a week or two. And then other people, like, they'll go to the gym like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and they're like, all right, now I'm going to treat myself. I'm not going to go.
Well, dude, you go there Thursday and there's no one there.
Well, Thursday is the best day to go. There's never anyone at the gym on Thursday. But Monday is like everyone, like, they drank all weekend, they ate like crap, and then they go in and they're like, I feel like a piece of shit. I better get in there Monday morning. And so that's why they go Mondays.
Sunday mornings are really good too.
Yeah, I like weekends. Weekends are always a good workout.
If there's anybody there, they're doing cardio too. Like, it's never like you're never in the gym with all the beefcakes.
Maybe I do need to get like an OT fitness because
I used to do sneaky Friday nights. I would like when everybody was going out and stuff when I was in grad school. I was a little bit too old to go out with undergrads. It'd be like a Friday night, like, you know, 8-9 o'clock. I'm like, I'm gonna go to the gym and just burn like 1,400 calories.
Yeah, I did the exact same thing when I was in grad school. I was like, I'd go like after my like 9 o'clock or my like night seminar would end at 9 and I'd go to the gym. There'd be like 5 kids in there. And the cops, like the campus cops would be in there working out.
So
those dudes never did legs.
Oh yeah, no, that's my favorite. I love doing leg day.
They need to run out
like people. People are always looking at you like, why are you doing leg day? I'm like, because leg day sucks. That's why. And I like it rough.
Champions do leg day. I've been on some legs trying to catch up the pace. He's not going to show me up at the beach this week or this year.
Oh, there you go.
Dude, I went out and I did the unthinkable and bought some chubbies because I'm like, I've been doing leg day for a couple years now, pretty consistently. I got some nice quads. I'm
to own it.
Nice, dude. Yeah, I need to get my legs up too. I might need to go on like the O2 Fitness like you guys do.
They have the turf at O2 Fitness, which I really like. Which I feel like at this point we were talking enough about O2, they could be our official sponsor.
Yeah.
But they have.
Are they like a South? Are they in North Carolina? Or they're
North and South?
Mostly
they have like a Greenville one.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they have the turf in there, so you can do like functional workouts, like
never use a turf.
The tire and they have like the sleds and stuff in there. So.
Oh wow. That's cool.
That's usually where people go and stretch whenever I'm there.
My uncle was really big in, like, I don't think he was really big into like CrossFit, but the dude's like 54 or 55 and he's just absolutely jacked. Like, he trains Marines on the side. So like anytime he's like, like, sure, I would love to throw up today.
All right. You guys ready to do this thing? Yeah.
I got a second beverage for when my first one inevitably runs out.
What'd you get?
Another margarita.
Oh, hell yeah.
No, I can only drink one. I'm only allowing myself a victory margarita, and that's it.
Well, gentlemen, good evening. Good to see you.
Thanks.
So who's gonna do the dishes tonight? You got which one of y'all wants to do the dishes during the podcast?
Yeah, we're gonna be a Kane-centered podcast that doesn't do the dishes.
It sounded like he was peeing when you sent me when I heard it.
He does the dishes quite a bit during their podcast. But the most recent one was pretty bad. Like, I contemplated tweeting at them and saying, like, I listen to pretty much, every one of these, and this one was almost unlistenable.
Maybe he's pressed for time. He just needs, it's bleeding into his dishwashing time.
We're talking about Adam Gold, by the way.
Yeah.
His recent podcast. I don't listen to Adam Gold. Sorry, Adam Gold. I know you're not listening to us, but I feel the need to apologize to you anyway. But apparently, what was his co-host? Was it his co-host?
Yeah, the co-host. It's him and Alec.
They were like doing dishes in the middle of the recording, so you could like hear plates clinking and sinks running. And
yeah, we're more professional than that. Like,
yeah, Pace has got his margarita. We're way more professional.
We draw the line at dishes, like Cinderella. I don't think I've ever seen someone mad or sad like drinking a margarita.
You just sad margarita. You like yell at the dog, and cry, and punch your pillows, and wait for the next Canes game.
I had a couple sad margaritas when the Canes played the Bruins last year in the bubble. Those were sad margaritas.
Every time the Canes play the Bruins, it's sad margaritas. So can we briefly discuss the sugar boo phenomenon?
Oh yeah, okay. Pace, you want to start with that? I don't. It's not really
to you.
There's not really.
I shamelessly had to look up who Dua Lipa was this past week because I had no idea.
She has a good. I think. What's it? She's on Tiny Desk. She has a Tiny Desk, I think.
Her Tiny Desk is actually really, really good. I didn't know who she was. Well, other than like Chelsea's workout videos, but I like saw like a bunch of bass covers of her songs when I was having my little like I need to learn how to play the bass phase, and her bass line slap, which is why I give her credence. But then now she's a meme for the Carolina Hurricanes.
So that's where Brett Pesci got it from.
Yeah, but why? I don't understand why the Canes took
Trip.
Well, Trip already liked to talk about Dua Lipa in the car, like before games, like, oh, levitating's on. It's a good night for the boys. But then it turned into like the Canes were making like promotional videos and like just really dragging out the sugar booth thing. And I'm like, it's like the weird kid in your friend group who like takes the joke that everyone made and just like runs with it for an extra week longer than it's supposed
Sugar
to be
booth did
used.
go a little far. Yeah. Bunch of jerks went. I mean, that was good. But
that was cash money promotional.
Yeah, they cashed in on that.
We monetized our haters. Don Cherry started hating, and we monetized it.
When we're a small market team, we have to do kind of the stuff like that with the David Ayers. So we have to do like as much as we can when good things happen to the Canes because we're not like usually in the spotlight. They're gonna get a Disney movie out of it now, so that's not even the Canes milking it.
Yeah, David Ayers was worth milking. I don't know if Sugar Boo is worth carrying out for 2 weeks. We're gonna get strung up for this take. Everyone's gonna be like, "Are you serious? You don't love Sugar Boo?"
I can respect the Sugar Boo thing, but I don't think three of us are actually in the audience that's gonna appreciate that. This morning, it was April 20th, a esteemed holiday for some that celebrate. I do not, but some that do celebrate this holiday. And we at the Redneck Hockey Podcast decided to choose violence this morning with people on Canes.
We started a war with Lightning Twitter instead of engaging in the holidays. We're good. Good country boys. So we like drinking and fighting, not smoking and loving.
Loving smokers. 420 Brady shit. Blaze it. No. I was trying to think of something that Blaze that would be punning.
I don't even know where that lady came. A lady popped on our thread and was just like,
she chimed in.
Yeah, she chimed in, but I don't know how she got to us. Like, I don't know why she decided to just show up, but she decided
to
give
what she was talking about, but she chimed in.
She tried to give us her 2 cents on the hit.
We're starting to make it.
And I'm like, I don't discuss hockey with Floridians. And so I just was like, lady, I know it's 420 already, but don't you think it's a bit early to be hitting the devil's lettuce?
They got Busch Gardens, but you can always go to Virginia for that.
Yeah, the Virginia one's way better anyway. Like the one in Tampa sucks.
And you got Lightning down there.
They give away, if you look online, they have like all these tickets and promotions and stuff you can buy, like promo codes for the Busch Gardens in Tampa, but the one in Williamsburg, they have none of those. Why? Because it's better. But it just so happens that two of our division rivals and closest competition in our division play in Florida.
It's kind of coincidental that our feelings and hatred towards Florida coincide with our rivals also playing in Florida. I think we're just stating facts here. We're not trying to like talk about Florida like we hate it because of the rivals. We just hate it matter of factly.
It's the gooch of America. It's the sweaty underside. It's where things go to die.
I think we'll all agree that we'll take the slightly, like the ever so slightly worse weather during the winter months, and the way less crazy people to live in North Carolina versus
it's all
Florida.
flat there. Yeah, you're right. The mountains. I don't know, dude. It's just, yeah, Tampa sucks. Yep.
Do y'all feel as scatterbrained as I do right now? I feel like we're just bouncing around.
No, we're doing great. Victory march is kicking in. We're doing great. Let's talk about Nashville then. Let's start off with Nashville. Yeah.
Have we played Nashville this year? I'm not sure.
They've tried to play us. We've just been playing, I guess, practice hockey. I don't know. Now that I say that, we're going to meet them in the first round and get swept or something.
That would be ideal though to play Nashville in the first round.
Yeah. So we had 2 games against them last week.
I remember we slapped in the first game. In the second game, we should have been up like 4 or 5-0 in the second period.
Yeah.
It was 1-1, and then the third period came around and we slapped again.
The second game was Hakanpaa's overtime winner. Or not overtime, but the game winner. And then we had an empty net to make it 3-1.
We had to talk about Hakanpaa because that was his first showing, was
against
that
Nashville.
First game against Nashville.
Oh yeah, he fit right in. I don't think he played that many minutes. He played more minutes than Anaheim, but he fit right in.
In Turtleneck, we trust because he's been a perfect fit for us so far. I've noticed since we picked up Hakanpaa that our defensemen have been jumping up and helping with the offense a little bit more. And I think it's because whenever Hakanpaa's on the ice, he's always staying back.
Oh yeah,
because that's his strength. I don't know. I think he's been perfect for us so far. Been a good fit.
I think my favorite thing about Hakanpaa is it showed, like, him coming to Raleigh showed how great the Canes fan base is. Like he said that when he got here, there was like signs for him and everything. And that's the nice thing about our franchises. Like whenever we get a new player, like no matter what information we have on him, he can have the worst stats from another team. And the moment he shows up, it's like the Canes are like, hey, we're going to believe in you until you give us a reason not to. Whereas like other franchises, like they pull in these new players and then they're like, all right, you have to prove to us why we should even care that you're now on our team. It always works in our favor when we treat our new players that way, because they come in here, they feel immediately at home, and then they're like, man, I'm going to give something back to these people immediately. It happened with Nino. It happened with Hakanpaa. It's definitely happened with Trocheck. Like, it's just been probably the best thing about any player that comes to Raleigh is they get to experience us.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. I think
it's slightly narcissistic, but yeah.
Oh, I don't care.
Yeah, especially when we're winning too. I think the Hurricanes, the love is especially there. They're believing in the GM. They're like, he hasn't given us a reason to doubt him yet. And Turtleneck, we trust.
Loudest house in the NHL, baby. All in all, do we think that the trade was worth it? Now that we've had Hakanpaa for a little while, do you think the trade for Fleury was worth it? Because I know Kane's Twitter was pretty torn in the beginning. People were not really thrilled about getting rid of him. They were very emotionally attached to Fleury, but Hakanpaa seems to fit in pretty quickly, and the fans definitely seem to like him.
Yeah, I think for the role that we need him for, he's perfect. We're not asking him to come here and play a ton of minutes. I mean, again, I said last week he's pretty disappointing. You know, Fleury didn't work out. He's a high draft pick, but it's probably good for him to go to a team that, like, maybe they're not having the most success, but at least he's able to see the ice a little bit more. So it's kind of a win-win for both sides.
I think it's too early to tell. No one knows what that 6th round pick is going to be. So
he's waiting for that the other shoe to drop.
We don't know how good of a trade this is really until we draft who we draft with a 6th round pick. That's going to be everything. It could be another Hayden Fleury. It could be another That's the real value, I think, the 6th round pick. No, Hakanpaa's been great. It's really, I can see both sides to it. I can see everyone being mad about losing Fleury, because you are kind of objectively losing talent in Hakanpaa. I mean, he brings a certain skill set, which the Canes need, and he's better suited for the Canes team than Fleury is right now. it's just unfortunate that Fleury is not a right-handed defenseman and not further along in development for where this team needs him to be.
Another important development with getting Hakanpaa is we're one step closer to turning the Hurricanes into the Finnish national team, which I think would be a really exciting development for the league.
What like Line A is Finnish. I don't know. Like, do we want? I don't think Line A is a good fit for the Hurricanes, especially with like where our contracts are. A lot of people don't really know the situation with the Canes are throwing Line A rumors out because he is a free agent this summer and he played with Aho.
To acquire a Line A would mean to sacrifice someone in our top 6, and that I don't think anyone really wants to do that. I definitely don't want to do that. Line A is great, but like you said, I don't think he's the right fit for the team.
Yeah,
I don't see him. I don't see him coming to Raleigh. I don't see Columbus letting him go for nothing. You know,
I'm just thinking of big Finnish guys that are like they're big Finnish stars that are their contract coming up. That's the first that comes to mind.
I mean, we're already currently working with the log jam, and we haven't even gotten Turbo back. I mean, he's supposedly coming back soon, but I mean, like, where are we going to put him in our top 6? Like, you're going to have to bump down one of Foss, or I don't know. Like, our top 6 is getting pretty crowded.
Yeah, I think Martin Hook is definitely the odd man out once I think Lorenz has definitely sealed his fate and like staying around at least for the 4th line.
I think Geeky's kind of an underwhelming. I mean, I'm going to get crap for this, but I don't care because I'm not like everyone else on Kane's Twitter who says nothing but positive things all the time. But I think Geeky's been pretty underwhelming. He's not a very physical player. He kind of reminds me of Dzingel in that regard, where like he's this awkward guy who could fit in, you know, the 3rd line role, but he doesn't.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a little bit more than maybe. I think you're right. I think has a little bit more of a McGinn ceiling. He gets hit around a lot. He's not afraid to get to the dirty areas, which is good. And he's got a little bit of that skill. We've seen it, but he's
not physical enough for the bottom 6. Whereas like someone like Brock, like Brock can literally go anywhere on the team. And that's kind of why he's one of Rod's favorites, and he's got heart.
I'll said it before. I'll say it again. Some of these, you know, these guys that are kind of going back and forth between taxi squad or even the AHL squad, like eventually they're going to have to come up and fill the roles of these, you know, like the older guys in the bottom, like Martin Hook, for instance. I mean, Griffin, you've said before, like you think they're going to do him dirty. I don't know. I mean, I could definitely see that, but at least for right now in our immediate situation, Rod's going to trust the vet like Martin Hook over a guy like Geeky if it came down to, you know, healthy scratches.
Well, every day that goes by, I feel like I eat my words about the Canes doing Martin Hook dirty, because Martin Hook is definitely aware of the thin ice that he stands on. I think, you know, he knows he's in a questionable position with the team, and he knows that he's, I guess, getting replaced by these younger guys, but he's trying his hardest. I mean, like I don't see anyone else work as hard as he does on the ice, especially with McGinn out. It's even more noticeable.
He can forecheck the shit out of people, and it's fantastic.
Yeah.
Party. Yeah.
I don't know why he's in the top 6, but he's absolutely an essential player on the team, without a doubt.
He's like a LaRose kind of guy, and it's nice to have. But yeah, right.
A Chad.
He's a Chad. He's a
Call
Chad.
him a Chad, not a LaRose. He's a Chad.
He's a Chad.
I miss LaRose. I wonder what he's up to now. I think Martin Hook's gonna be. I hate to see it. I think he's gonna be gone soon. I think him and Puckhead are gone next year.
Let's talk about the Tampa series now that it's over.
What did we went 4 wins and 4 losses without adding in the overtime losses that we had against them. So I mean that's a tough team to match up against. Obviously they won the Stanley Cup last year, so that's who you want to be, you know, your primary competition.
Yeah, I think I was telling Griffin during the first Tampa game how different that game was compared to like our games with Dallas and Florida, even though those were tight in Chicago. And I think I'm a little worried that our lack of games like Monday and Tuesday, like tonight, come playoff time will kind of hurt us. Like the lack of adversity we faced, the lack of true like contending teams that we played throughout the whole season.
The first game against Tampa, the first 2 periods, we were kind of sluggish. We didn't really play that well at all. The third period, I actually had a friend of the podcast text me, and he said, "Man, this is like playoff hockey." And I said, "Yeah, like both teams are playing super physical. The Canes finally answered back and dug themselves back into the game. And then tonight, I mean, you look at that, like Connor, you said." Connor, you said that the fact that we haven't played that many high intensity games might come back to hurt us. But I would counter that with, we played against a team that kind of came out and punched us in the mouth for 2 periods on Monday. And then tonight, we came out, we were jumping the whole game. We forechecked them the entire game. We outplayed Tampa tonight big time. And I mean, we really made a statement tonight.
That was a good game tonight. We just need to get rid of Killorn and Yanni Gord.
Yeah, speaking of Killorn and Killorn's big hit on Necas, what did you guys think about that? I know that caused some major uproar on Canes Twitter and Tampa Twitter and just hockey Twitter in general. I saw Reddit was quite busy discussing whether or not it was a legal hit.
Up until like today, right before the game started today, people were still talking about it. Just like the Svech fight against OV, it had a similar kind of feel to it. But it was their house, it was their home, and that kind of swung things a little bit the other way.
Let's break down the Killorn Necas hit, because nobody seems to agree on this. I think a lot of Canes fans are reluctant to admit that it is a legal hit. Like everyone's debating whether or not, his skates left the ice. And every time I go back and I watch the play, at the point of contact, his skates are still on the ice. And then, you've got Tampa fans and they're like, well, he should have kept his head up. And I'm like, every time I go back and I watch the replay, Necas' head is looking straight forward. Like he anticipated the hit. So he knew it was coming. It's not like he got cold clocked without even looking. Like he saw Killorn coming and was like, oh crap, here's my death. So he's looking up. And then, as we saw some arguments that some of us have got into with some people on Canes Twitter, was like, was Gardner complicit? Someone said that, like the players are playing at high speeds, they're making split decisions, and this whole suicide pass nonsense is just, crap that people throw around because they don't know anything about hockey. And it's like, look, it's not like the Canes were in like this giant mash of play at the moment and it just happened. It's like the Canes came out of their own end. Gardner's got the puck. He's, looking left, looking right, and then he tries to fake a no-look pass to Necas. So he's not even looking at Necas. It's a slow pass. It's a little bit ahead of Necas. And by the time Necas picks it up, Killorn's right on him. Had Gardner actually paid attention to where Necas was, where the Tampa players were, like there wasn't a single blue jersey in the defensive end. So he absolutely set him up
and
to get rocked.
Killorn, the pass is so slow that Killorn's like, he stops at his own blue line and just takes like standstill run at Necas before the pass even gets to him, because the pass is so slow. He's like, all right, I'm going to blow this guy up, because you can telegraph it that far ahead. And, big props to Gardner for like stepping up and like, because he doesn't fight. That's like what someone said is his second fight.
It's his first fight in 7 years, and he's only had one other previous fight.
That's awesome that he did that. And I'm not trying to knock him at all for like, not for like he had to fight or anything like that, or he like should have fought, or else everyone would have killed him. I think it's there's like, you can say yay to the fight and also boo to like the pass.
Bad passes happen all the time.
Yeah.
I see Dougie Hamilton make at least 2 a game.
You have to give Gardner respect for the fight. I'm not trying to drive a narrative home or anything, but like, don't you think he felt a little guilty? I mean, that has to be why he immediately threw hands.
He did a circle. He did a circle too. Like as soon as the hit happened, he turned to go back to defense. I think he took a look at the bench and he's like, "Ah, crap! I might have been responsible for some of that." And he turned around and was like, "All right, I'm going to deal with this." Like you said, it's like we're proud of Gardner for doing it. Like no one's like mad at Gardner for the pass. It's not a great pass, but bad passes
obviously
happen all
didn't
the time. That's part of the game.
Yeah.
But the real thing it boils down to is like Gardner probably should have paid attention before he made the pass. Killorn might not have needed to take the shoulder to Necas' head and make that hard center ice hit when everyone in the league kind of has mixed feelings about center ice hits anyway.
Yeah.
And so, and then not only that, but then he goes in and he has the fight with Gardner, and he like slams Gardner's head on the ground after the fight's over, and then goes and like waves his arms to the crowds. Like, you just may have like really hurt one of the Canes' best players, and you're like, all right, you know, I'm the king of this castle, whatever. It's kind of just distasteful.
Yeah,
That is a great point, Caniac Griffin. You know what no one in the league has, or everyone in the league has hard feelings about?
what?
Turning someone into a human basketball, which is literally what Necas turned in yesterday. Like, I was so worried about him. I thought for sure he was going to be out for the rest of the game. It was so good to see him come back, but God, like, I mean, whenever you see someone get hit like that and their head kind of whips back, especially on a surface like water, that's a dangerous play. It really was. It was so dangerous.
Like, if that hit had happened on Justin Williams last year or something, like we would be having a funeral procession.
I mean, part of the problem is we don't really have anyone to play that enforcer role.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's anyone in the Canes that like really scares other teams, though, unfortunately. Like, we don't have like a Chara. But when you have like a guy like Chara or a guy like Wilson or a guy like Reeves, you kind of play bigger, I think.
We had that for a while in 2019 with Ferland. That was fun to watch.
Ferland didn't scare people, you know what I mean? Like, it sucks to not have a player on your team like Ryan Reeves or Tom Wilson, where it's like, you know, like, players go out of their way to not have bad and dirty hits because they don't want to fight those people, because they know that if they make bad hits, their ass is going to get handed to them. I mean, that's the whole point of an enforcer, and that's the whole point of fighting in hockey, which people seem to forget for some reason, is that the role of the enforcer is to make up for the missed calls and for the bad hits. And, you know, having an enforcer on your team prevents bad hits from even happening.
We saw tonight in the Tuesday game that Martinook threw hands.
Well, that hit on Brady Shea, was that Goudreau that did it?
It was.
Yeah. Well, the weird thing about that hit was like he came in flying hard, and like he fell over after he made the hit, which kind of made it seem like he knew that he was going in to hit him as hard as humanly possible and for no other reason. And at this point in the season, it's just kind of strange, because it's like, all right, you're at the point now where if you hurt players, you're directly affecting the results of the playoffs. Like, you're getting in the way of who's going to be playing in the playoffs. You're actively working against the interests of the other team. And it just seems unnecessarily dangerous, you know, at this point in the season to take hits and to make hits like that. You know, it's one thing to play hard and go after other teams or go after other players on the team. It's another thing to like almost target players unnecessarily.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think with the flow of the way that Tuesday's game went, Tampa was probably a little frustrated. You know, they were being really physical with us on Monday. They were kind of bullying us, which is, you know, we've said this plenty of times. It's the blueprint to beat the Canes. You bully them around, and we just kind of weren't having it tonight. So I think he kind of went in there with the intent of like, all right, you know, we're getting slapped tonight. I'm going to be physical. I'm going to try to assert my will on Brady Shea, poor guy, in the boards, and I don't think it went well for him.
They're just seeing it was just that kind of game where both teams were kind of looking for an opportunity, because it looked like it's like a playoff atmosphere. So both teams are just looking for an opportunity. Maybe the Lightning are looking for more opportunities to injure. You know, I think that definitely happened these last two games. It's because you hate that other team so much that you want to win.
Yeah, I think Pace raised a good point. You know, we've finally gotten to the point in the season where the boys are being physical, and also they're starting to retaliate for cheap hits. We've talked about it all season. There's nothing more frustrating than when you watch, you know, Jordan Staal get laid out in front of the bench, and everyone around on the team just kind of looks at each other like, do you want to answer that? No. Okay. Let's just go to the locker room. It is frustrating. So to see Gardner, you know, drop gloves, to see Martinook drop gloves is really awesome. I wish we could have seen the new guy go out and beat the living crap out of somebody, but unfortunately he's just never on the ice at the right time.
It was great to see Martinook kind of answer the bell for that one. I mean, he's one of the more physical guys on the team, but it wasn't like it happened right after the hit. Like that was so random that he just like dropped the gloves. It happened right after they scored the first goal. And that's when it kind of made you think, okay, when did this happen? There was nothing really there. And Tripp brought up later in the game, he said, Supreme Leader Tripp, he came up and said, he's like, yeah, that this had to be an answer for that nasty hit on Brady Shea. But it was so timely, right? Because Martinook, the vet that he is, took his time, waited for the opportunity to do it. The Canes just scored. Why not now? Drop the gloves then, and then 25 seconds later they scored again. I don't know. It was. I thought that was good timing.
I think the Canes all need to go to boxing camp together this summer. All I know is Svetch is not going to get OV'd ever again, and so that boy is definitely taking boxing lessons.
Who was it that he looked at in the Pred series? He was like, "You're not Ovi."
Yeah, I don't think anyone wants to see him fight.
I think it was Ekholm.
Even Ovechkin probably doesn't want to fight Svechnikov again. I don't think that went well for anybody.
What if we get to that spot in the playoffs and we have oh man, that'd be wild. If we have a Caps Canes playoff series and Svetch is like, I'm going to go beat up the Bear.
That would be so fun. It really would, to see this.
It'd be stressful.
Go at it with the Caps. That would be super stressful. I don't want to think about that.
I think we could beat the Caps, but boy, tensions would be high. Mia Khalifa would be tweeting at Warren Fogle again. It'd be a wild series. What do you think is going to happen with the goalie situation now that it seems like there's a clear favor for Mrazek and Ned, obviously, but Reimer's still scratched, and he could. I imagine Rod's going to play him again if he's going to keep these three goalies. He's going to do something with Reimer.
Yeah, I think they probably play Reimer. I'd be surprised if they play him more than once the rest of the season. We only have like 12 games remaining. So I'd see Mrazek's probably going to see most of the rest of the starts. He's probably going to see like 60, 70%. That's my guess. I mean, Mrazek single-handedly kept us in the game on Monday. I didn't think we really played that well at all against the Lightning in the first game, but Mrazek single-handedly got us a point, which was, is pretty huge. Ned looks good. I think if we needed him to step up, like say Mrazek somehow, heaven forbid, got injured in the playoffs, like Ned could step up and play pretty well, I think. But Mrazek's probably the 1A.
Honestly, I feel like our goalie situation, at least as far as having Peter and Ned goes, is almost like having a cheat code for the playoffs. It's like we have two starters, and so that is big. Like Tampa doesn't have that. They've got McElhinney, and for some reason they don't show a lot of confidence in him, which I think is kind of disappointing because I thought McElhinney was a good goalie. He is an absolute backup goalie. He's very slow. He's very conservative in the net, the same way Reimer kind of is. But they really do not like to utilize him at all, as they've shown tonight playing Vasilevsky back to back.
He's had a bad year, and it's weird because they won the cup with that tandem last year, so it's not like they can't like run Vasilevsky into the ground come playoff time. But I don't know. I think they really, these two games mattered enough for Tampa Bay to start him back to back because there is number one seed in the line.
Well, gentlemen, do you have any final parting words?
I can't think of anything funny right now.
Wait, did Jeff Skinner score this week?
No.